In this video, we will show you 5 clues of why some of the most popular gacha games might be getting their own anime adaptations. Over the years, gacha games like Granblue Fantasy and Azur Lane received their own anime shows, so to keep things exciting, we went to detective mode to find out which of the gacha games could be getting their own anime. When it comes to an impressive 2D animation and graphics, Epic 7 is hands down the winner here. What's even more important is that Epic 7 also has a fleshed out storyline and characters, so it's hard to imagine why there is no anime adaptation already. Well, in March 2019, there was a developer interview during Taiwan's special event, and during the Q&A session, one of the questions were, with Epic 7's amazing story and unbelievable animations, is there any possibility of seeing an animated work in the future? To which the developers responded with, we would really want to, our dream is to expand our IP in many different directions. However, at the moment we would like to focus more on the fans that are awaiting Epic 7 Episode 2. Once we've secured a good story, we definitely want to take on new challenges. Now, the thing about this response is that Episode 2 had been released more than a year ago, so this could mean that behind the scenes, some sort of an anime could be in the works already. With Episode 3 on its way, the story and the world just keeps expanding, so there's plenty of material that could be used to produce at least a couple of seasons of Epic 7. Arknights did what no other gacha game could. It combined tower defense gameplay with anime waifus. And while the story isn't that gripping, the characters are what makes the game so great. There are plenty of anime shows out there that have a mediocre plotline, but you just enjoy watching the characters and their interactions instead. What's kind of interesting is that publisher behind the Japanese and English versions of Arknights is Yoastar. This is the same publisher that was involved with the production of Azur Lane's anime show, which is a gacha game that Yoastar, well, is publisher of. Online reception of Azur Lane was a mixed bag at best, but because the show just got released recently, it's hard to tell just how much of an impact it had on getting more people to download the game. Which brings us to Arknights. It's clear that publishers are interested in creating new ways of acquiring more customers, and with Azur Lane as one of the anime projects under their belt, it's entirely possible we could be seeing Arknights getting its own anime adaptation in the nearest future.
関心を持っているプレイヤーが多いようですが、ヨースターピクチャーズはアークナイツのテレビアニメについてどう思いますか？もし、作るとしたらオリジナルストーリー
ハイパーグリフの方々とかとうまく話し合って作っていけたらなと思います。
楽しみに待ちたいと思います。
バルキリー効果開始まで10、9
The publisher MiHoYo has got their hands full with the upcoming release of Genshin Impact, but that shouldn't stop them from making an anime show for Honkai Impact 3rd. Come to think of it, there's actually a lot of animation produced for this game already. From cooking shows to animated shorts, there's enough interest from players to see their beloved game come alive in a dedicated anime show. And here's the thing about MiHoYo. They have their own studio dedicated for creating promotional videos of Honkai Impact 3rd, even though most of the animation is outsourced to their partner Wondarium Incorporated, but the amount of material coming out constantly that doesn't have any direct way of generating revenue from players is astounding, which makes us believe that the anime of Honkai Impact 3rd could be on its way.
I hear you're venging, child of man. Now prove that your feeble flesh can withstand the dragon's supreme might.
You won't find anyone who's more experienced than Cygames when it comes to turning a gacha game into its own anime show. The two games we're keeping an eye on, hoping they will get their anime adaptations, are Dragalia Lost and World Flipper. Now granted, World Flipper is currently only available in Japan, yet it's still getting pretty good results from experimenting with anime plus pinball gameplay. On the other hand, Dragalia Lost has been going pretty strong and generated over $120 million of revenue since its initial release. So why do we believe that Cygames could potentially turn one of these gacha games into its own anime? Well, for starters, one of their most successful gacha games, Granblue Fantasy, already has 2 seasons of its own anime. The last episode finished airing during September 2019, so it's not long before a 3rd season could get announced shortly after. Now, the other anime they've produced was Rage of Bahamut, which was based on a now defunct collectible card game that was popular back in 2012 2012. Rage of Bahamut anime adaptation found success with its audience and continued on producing second season of the show, and also had a spin-off series called Minaria Friends. All of this builds up to the next big thing of Princess Connect Redive getting its own anime show and then going further and announcing that it will also have a second season. This gacha game has been a smash hit with Japanese audience, so it's only natural for Cygames to capitalize on its success. And this is what's so important about Cygames. They have their own anime studio called Cygames Pictures to create and animate their own video games. They are the pioneers of making video games and turning them into anime shows. So with all of this counted, we hope you now understand how likely it is that Dragalia Lost and World Flipper could be getting their own anime adaptations.
見つけたクスクスクスさあ召し上がれ
Having all of the clues in front of us, publishers outsourcing studios to create promotional anime, publishers who create their own animation divisions, and even publishers who just produce high quality games that could be their own anime without too much effort, brings us to the most elusive game in this video, Fire Emblem Heroes. Fire Emblem isn't known that well even to this day because of how hard its games are. Granted that the difficulty levels have been toned down with the recent installment of Three Houses, and some of the characters have been included into the popular Smash Bros. Fighting game, but getting an anime adaptation could certainly work wonders. There was a report made about Nintendo mobile games where their games have received over 500 million downloads, and Fire Emblem Heroes was only responsible for 9 million of them. And the result was that it generated over 80% of the whole revenue, and games like Mario Kart Tour and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp got beaten senseless. It only makes sense that the next step would be to find more of these passionate customers through an anime adaptation. The last time there was a clue left about a possible anime adaptation was from one of the artists who drew Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening during the time when Fire Emblem Heroes was about to have her as part of the new event. The artist drew special symbols on the edges of Lucina's weapon that read Anime Project Success, but it's now been well over 3 years since that happened. However, Nintendo reports that they've been getting really good results with their gacha games, so publishers like Cygames could inspire them to pursue the avenue of finally producing an anime show for Fire Emblem. It's just not that fun to keep rewatching the same 2 episodes that were created back in 1996.
Mars Lowell, heir to the throne of Aricia.
The son of King Cornelius? You are truly he?
Yeah.
Let them all go! But more!
Enjoyed the video? Support us by subscribing to our channel, clicking the like button, and leaving a comment. Also, consider checking out more of our videos and visit us at gachagamer.com for more gacha gaming goodness.